Hello.
Hello! Welcome to the Body and Brain podcast. I'm David Driscoll.
This is Minjae Kim.
Today we're talking about relationships,
Relationships.
a very important topic.
Yes, when you see the social media or movies, or when you see the advertisement, you can see lots of contents that are talking about relationships.
Relationships, attraction, these kind of things are a big part of our society. At the same time, they say that marriage rates are dropping.
Oh, yes. So
Fewer people are getting married.
right.
Interesting, right?
Yes.
But at the same time, are relationships less important or have they just changed? In some sense, I think relationships take up as much of our energy and attention as ever before, perhaps even more.
Yes, when you see the social media, then everybody is likes, follows,
Likes, follows.
number of comments.
And the idea that how is marriage these days? A lot of marriages don't last.
Yeah, about half of marriages end in divorce.
About half of them, right?
And how about the first marriages?
First
People
marriage?
say that about 41% of first marriage will end in divorce.
Yeah, but how about second and third marriages?
Oh, yeah, the divorce rate goes even higher.
It goes higher, not lower after the first divorce. Interesting, right?
Yes.
So marriage rates are down, but at the same time, relationships are just as important as ever before. And that's a good thing. Relationships are important. But the question is, are these relationships good for us?
Do relationships help us grow?
Do they help us grow? Exactly. How do we know if they're helping us grow?
What is the standard?
What's the standard? How can we check? And what can we do to ensure that our relationships are healthy, happy, peaceful, and good for our growth?
That is very important questions.
That's a very important question. So from Body and Brain Yoga, we have certain principles. Obviously, if you're practicing, it's for your health, happiness, and peace. That extends into relationships.
Yeah, speaking of which, there are lots of people who are coming to the centers. Among the members that are coming because of their illness, and then illness came from their hurt, emotional memory from their past or current relationships.
So the emotion, the stress of relationships, and it can be incredibly stressful.
Yeah, it can be a very good source of good or bad emotions.
That's right. That's right. So it's very important to know, is my relationship good for me? How can I make it healthier and better for my growth?
Yes.
So a lot of people, they get into relationships, they want to make their relationship last. Sometimes it doesn't last.
Right.
On the other hand, sometimes people stick with a relationship past the point where it's healthy.
Even when they know that it is toxic for them.
They know it's toxic. Everybody's telling them, maybe you should end this, but they don't. Why?
Why?
Are they stupid?
I don't think so.
No. Are they just a hopeless dreamer and they expect it to get better? Well, maybe sometimes, but often they know that it's not getting better, and yet they can't leave because they're afraid.
They're afraid. Yeah, a friend of mine jokingly told me a story that before people were afraid of wars and violence and illnesses, those things more. But these days we cannot see that kind of things often in our daily life. So instead of that, people are afraid of being bored or being lonely.
Especially, they're afraid of being lonely. They're afraid of loneliness.
Right.
This is a first world problem. It's a luxury to be able to have your primary fear be loneliness. But it's true. People spend a lot of time and energy avoiding loneliness. And it can be sticking with an unhealthy relationship, or it can be doing other things. Our addiction to social media is sometimes a way of avoiding being alone. Sometimes eating, right?
Yeah.
Even overeating can be a way of avoiding the feeling of loneliness. So we know that loneliness can be a big factor in a lot of bad habits.
And how about computer games?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, computer games.
Anything. So how is your relationship? A lot of people know the idea, if you want to have a healthy relationship, you have to love yourself.
Right.
You have to have a good relationship with yourself.
So loving yourself comes first.
But how do we check? How do we know if we're really doing that?
Yeah, love myself can be sounded like a little bit vague.
Yeah. First, one of the easiest ways to check is when you feel loneliness, can you tolerate it? Can you accept it and watch it? Or Do you immediately react by trying to do something to avoid the loneliness?
I think it has a lot to do with the social norm. Because maybe we have certain perspective or preconceptions about being lonely
Absolutely.
and about the relationships too.
Right.
And for some people, the fact that I don't have a relationship, that means I am left behind.
Absolutely.
I'm a loser.
I'm a loser. I'm never going to be taken care of. So self-worth, yeah, of course. When you face loneliness, it brings out that reality.
Right.
And it's a good chance to see, how is my relationship with myself? Which is why it's good to have time when you are alone. Or at least you have the chance to reflect with a sense, like a good loneliness.
Good loneliness.
Yeah, like a beautiful or almost like a holy, a sincere loneliness. Something that really means something. It's a choice to reflect on yourself without the distraction of other people, even the relationships. Now, if you are in a relationship, it might take some work, especially if you have kids. You might have to actually work to have the time to focus on yourself.
Right.
That's why it can be good to go to a class or have some time to meditate. This can be a very valuable time. So let's say that you are facing loneliness and that you can see certain things about yourself, like you feel really painful, you feel really empty when you're alone. And a lot of us do. How can you work on it? What can you do about that?
Being loneliness.
Yeah, about that loneliness and the way you feel and react to it. Well, we say that you can work on that relationship with yourself based on one of the principles of energy.
Energy principles.
Yeah, energy principle. How do you know if you're making a good relationship with yourself? Well, it has to do with this principle called 3 bodies.
3 bodies. Because we say love ourselves and love myself, and we can categorize and we can go deeper into the concept of me.
Yeah. Love myself. Does it mean always look happy? Not just that.
No.
Does it mean I always think positive and kind of avoid negative things? No. It means that you have the full experience, even loneliness. But there's a healthy balance inside between the 3 bodies. And what are the 3 bodies?
3 bodies. The first one is
Very well
easiest
known.
one.
Yeah, easy one.
Physical body.
Your physical body.
Do you love your physical body?
Do you appreciate? Do you take care of your physical body?
Right.
Now, this is obviously important. You can have good relationships and you can grow to your full potential, even if your physical body is facing some illness, limitation. But it's often easier and it's a reflection of our overall balance when we have better health physically.
Right.
So taking the time to take care of your body is also important.
Yeah, it takes lots of effort.
It takes effort.
Yes.
That's the first body. How about the second body?
Second body is our energy body.
Your energy body. And what kind of things comprise the energy body?
Energy body. Physical body is this physical body, and energy body is connected with more about our feelings,
More feelings.
and emotions. Yeah, and
That's
then the
right.
character.
Right.
Yeah.
So we talk about it, and if you haven't heard about this before, as a body, we say the energy body. What does that make you think of?
So compare the concept of energy or energy body.
Energy body. Oh, it's mine. It's something I have and something I need to be responsible for. If I take care of it well, it can have a good condition. If I don't pay attention to it, it might end up being unhealthy. My energy body can be unhealthy.
So it's just like my physical body, energy body is something that I need to take care of.
Need to take care of it. Need to treat it well. Even you need to feed your energy body the right kind of things.
So emotions are not something that I will be dragged by, but that is something that I can control.
Yeah, you can choose to spend more time with an uplifting, a healthy or a peaceful emotion, and spend a little less time with something else. So anyway, we have an energy body. That's number 2. Number 3 is called the
Spiritual body.
very interesting idea.
Spiritual body.
And frankly, this one is a little bit obscure. It can be hard to understand.
Right.
What is the spiritual body?
Yeah, and then how can a spirit plus body, those two seems like 2 different things.
So this body and brain practice and the brain education principles that we use talk about a spiritual body, and what that refers to is the guiding information of your life.
Guiding information.
The idea that our existence is often directed according to information which is very deeply held, even unconsciously held inside of us.
So in this case, information talks about the knowledge that we know, and also our unconscious information.
Our preconceptions,
too, right? Yes.
unconscious beliefs and feelings and memories. That information influences our physical body, of course, our emotional body, even if you aren't aware of it at all consciously. Even if you don't believe in anything that we call, so for body and brain, we call this information body is the spirit.
Spirit.
Yeah. So information has a role to play. And as a body, it's the same thing.
So just like a physical body and energy body, the spiritual body the concept is telling us that we need to take care of our information too.
That's right. And it can be healthy, it can work well for us, or it can be unhealthy.
Information not only about the knowledge, but the information that we have subconsciously
That's right.
allow it to be there.
Exactly. Whether we want to or not. So if you want to use the term spirit, you can or not. That's how we describe it, your spiritual body. And it affects the way that we feel and the way that we live. So it's very important to take care of that. Now, how do you change your spiritual body condition? How do you upgrade the condition and make harmony with your spiritual body?
Right. For example, people who are very clear about the purpose of their life.
Yeah,
Then,
life purpose.
Yeah, then their guiding information will be very clear.
It'll be clear, strong, and there's not a lot of room for other information to get in there and to affect them with different desires and fears and emotions.
And you have always your habits and egos and thinking pattern and everything. So do they always help you to go to somewhere that you really want to go, like your destination?
Right.
Or sometimes they sabotage you.
Right. If that's the case, it may not be enough to try to emotionally feel better or just physically get a little stronger. It may be time to really connect with the deeper life purpose, upgrade your spiritual body.
And then you have time to reflect and reevaluate your life patterns.
So that's important. If you have the time to be alone and do meditation, it can help you to get clear on that information that you're holding and whether you want to change it.
Right. So that means that you need to become a good judge for yourself.
That's right. So when we're looking at ourselves, it's often very hard to judge how is the relationship with myself.
Yeah, sometimes you become a very good person to other people. You forgive them and you smile at them. But when it comes to the dealing with themselves, then they become very stern and strict.
Right. So how do we know? How can we tell? Well, we have a principle that we say connecting with the 0 point.
The 0 point.
Yeah. So what is the 0 point?
The scale, the 0 point.
What does it mean? It means that it's balanced, neutral. It's not unfairly tilted towards one direction or the other, biased. And that's when a scale is actually useful, is when it's neutral at the 0 point.
So this is not the 0 point. It is broken.
Yeah, if it's broken, then it's not a good scale.
Right.
So the same thing is true inside of us. If too much information and attachment is there, then we can't look at things from the 0 point. We can't actually judge if they're helping us achieve our goals.
Right. So we want to always put a tag on it, put a label on something. So this is love, and this is pride, and this is anger, this is worry. But we are not familiar with tagging like this is nothing.
Yeah,
This is a 0.
much easier to judge things are good or bad. I like them, I don't like them. It's much harder to kind of get a fix on what does it mean to be in the 0 point, to be neutral,
Right.
to be kind of empty in a way. But this is very important for this process of making a better relationship with myself.
Yeah. And then the 0 point and the nothingness concept is a little bit more familiar with the wisdom tradition of Tao. And then the old monk in Korea, and then he was very well known. And then when he died, he said this one famous thing. That is, the mountain is mountain, the water is the water. And then he talked about the 0 point. So the mountain is mountain, but people want to see it, label it. Oh, that is a beautiful mountain. But tomorrow, when you have stress, then the mountain looks ugly,
Right.
stressful.
Or the condition of the water changes.
Right.
Oh, I like it. It looks clear today. It looks cloudy today. I don't like that as much. Said the water is just water.
Yeah, and then it is your information that makes difference. So we need to train ourselves to go back to our 0 point.
Right. Not necessarily an easy thing to do, but with that 0 point, we can really be confident about our relationship with ourselves. And through that, we can ensure that the relationships with others don't get in the way of our own health, our own happiness and peace, because we have a good way to measure it.
Right.
So next time, we're going to get into more about how to train yourself to connect with the 0 point. And this will be part of a series of podcasts and little videos about making relationships with yourself and others that are healthy and good for your growth.
Yeah, we really hope that you take this opportunity and then expand your perspective about how your relationships are, and also you can grow through this process.
That's right. If you have any questions or comments, we'd love to hear them. Please write them below.
And also remember that we want to have a good relationship with you.
Yeah, so don't forget to like this video and please subscribe to the channel and stay tuned and keep tuning in with us.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.